What is going on today, YouTube? And this is another episode of Northern Waters TV, and I'm your host, Will. And today we are going to go over what to throw on bass beds. This video is this is mostly aimed towards largemouth. Now I fish largemouth on the Mississippi River, and I'm just gonna go over like different baits to throw on the beds, actually, because that's going to be coming up here soon once that gets kicked in. It's February, well, no, it's January here in Wisconsin, and that's not for a little while, but I just wanted to get this video in early for you guys. And so we are going to start off. I have baits that are, I'll just show you guys a quick layout. I have a bunch of baits that I have laid out that I would maybe throw or probably would throw on a bed. Fix this quick. For beds, the first tip for beds is you want to be really quiet, or I'd say just stealthy so you don't scare the fish, for one. But two is you want to throw bright baits that you can see, so you can see if that bass you can see that if the bass hits the bait. Let's just go over the basics of bed fishing. So basically, it'll almost look like a rocky like circle, or it'll look like sand, and there'll be a bass sitting on it, and this is how you can tell if that fish is catchable. If you go and walk up on it, say you're on the bank and walk up on it, and it darts off right away, or just kind of swims off, that fish is not catchable. It's too scarce, and I would move on to another fish. But if the fish is catchable, you're gonna flip in there with whatever bait you're throwing. I can show you some baits next, but you're gonna be flipping in there, and either two options is, if this fish is catchable, it'll swim away and it'll turn around right away and come back to the bait, or it'll nose down on it right away. What I mean by nosing down on it is, say this is the bait, the bass will come down and look at it like this, or it'll swim away from the bed and then turn around and come right back. That fish is catchable. So now we're gonna go over to some baits that I would throw on a bass bed. Well, I'm gonna go over when they are chasing bluegills off the bed. I have some bluegill like looking different swim baits, but this is kind of just like a regular swim bait that I might throw around beds and kind of replicate a bluegill. I have some other bluegill colored ones. I just didn't get them from the garage. It's freezing outside. But that is like what I would throw if they're chasing bluegills. It's just like a little swim bait. Next, I'm going to go to, sometimes top waters work really, really well on beds. Sometimes you throw a top water up across the bed and they just explode on it. For that, I'd probably throw a little Pop-R, just to pop it right across the top of that bed. It's kind of like in a shad color. But now we're going to move on to baits that you're going to throw inside the bed. It's important to, when you're bed fishing, to switch up baits, because sometimes some baits make bass more like mad compared to others. So I'm going to go over, I have like about 4 different things. I have some different couple jig heads that you can put all these baits on, jigs, but I have like longworms, tubes, Senkos, and craws. That's so first I'm gonna go over a tube that I would probably two different tubes I'd throw. This white is easy to see, really nice to see if you're bed fishing, kind of like pearl white, and I got a sapphire blue tube. You can throw those on beds. Put a bullet weight on there, 2-aught hook, and throw it, and it'll sit right on the bed like this. Those tails will go like that, make that bass really bad, come and eat it. Those two are really good to go to. Next, well, alright, I'm going to show you guys the jig heads that you can, optional to put on these, but I'm going to use these jig heads for this spring for bass, but I have a bed jig right here, jig head. See, this jig head literally sits straight up. Alright, that wasn't a good example, but if in the water it literally stands straight up, and that will make that bait stand up, and looks really good. And the other, this is just a regular Ned rig that sits straight up too. But I said the tubes, those are really good. I could probably put the jig heads inside those tubes, but I'd probably put like a 2/0 hook and a bullet weight. Next, I have a bright yellow, just straight worm. I'd probably put it on like the Ned rig or this bed jig head, or I just Texas rig it. And then next, I have just a regular Zoom trick worm. Put it on a shaky head, those jig heads, put it on that bed. Next, it's just a Senko. Most of the time when I'm bed fishing with a Senko, I wacky rig it. So it just falls slowly like this right on the bed. Wacky rig that Senko. If you guys don't know how to wacky rig a Senko, go to my video two videos ago. I wacky rig a Senko in that video. Right here, bait number 3 I would go to. Next is just a regular jig. Flipping jig, nice, sits right inside that bed. Really nice. I'd probably cut the weed guard down a little more. But throw a nice trailer on there, make that bass mad. Next, I'm going to go to the craws. I'd probably pick a different color. This is a green pumpkin, but this is just a regular craw. Put that on a jig head, throw it on there. But this is a brighter craw, red. See that really well in the water. And then I have kind of like a clear green pumpkin craw. I bite them down. I'll show you what I do. Here's the Ned rig. Just put it right through there. Look at, sits right there. Sits right on that. Sits right up. Perfect. Looks really good. And another go-to bait for not really a go-to bait. Never mind. I got sidetracked. Never mind. But those are basically it. Like I said you can use like brighter colors. If the water's really clean, it doesn't really matter. You can use more natural colors like this green pumpkin Senko or this Zoom green pumpkin. But sometimes you gotta go to those brighter colors. Remember to switch baits up, and just make sure you get it inside. Try to find the hot spot on the bed that makes that bass the most mad. Say in a bed, in some parts, bass doesn't react to it. You flip in on it, and like say the middle of it, and you get in the middle of it, and that bass comes over straight over and noses down on it. You found the hot spot, and you want to throw in that spot right there, over and over until that bass bites. Most of the time, like I said, if you find a catchable bass, after a certain amount of flips, that bass will bite. Throw these different baits in on those in on that bed, and that bass will nose down on it and chomp it. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Go try these baits out on the beds this spring, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Northern Waters TV.